Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a Sunday afternoon episode of Ted's Brew Cellar with me, your most gracious host Ted. It is currently just about to go 1:30 on the 23rd of July 2023. Hope I'm finding you in a good state of affairs, and if I'm not, then I hope things improve very soon. Now, welcome to the Premier Alcohol Review Show here on YouTube with me, your most gracious host. Today we're going to be taking a look at a drink from a brewery that we haven't seen quite a bit of in a while, and that's the thing is because their drinks library, while it isn't the biggest, it's very sort of varying and interesting, but so annoyingly, even though I want to review more of their stuff, I just haven't been able to find more of their less sort of well-known drinks in all the shops that I frequent, but I managed to find something from them in our old friends at Cellar that I think could be really interesting. And I'm talking today about our old Estonian friends, Põhjala. And this in particular is their Banoffee Bänger Imperial Stout, which is a banging Imperial Stout inspired by Banoffee pie. So, yeah, pretty simple stuff there, really. That's the one thing I really like about Põhjala, is they never mess around with the descriptions of their drinks. They just get straight to the point. They tell you, here is a sour that is based around blood orange and coriander seeds. Here is a Banoffee pie stout. They just get straight to it, and I really like that. I didn't know for the longest time that Põhjala were actually Estonian, but considering the spelling and sort of the pronunciation of the name, I guess I should have known it was from there. So yeah, the alcohol percentage of this one is 12.5%. Obviously, it's an Estonian beer. It's from the region of Tallinn. It's an imperial style stout. It's vegan friendly, and I can't remember seeing this one from Põhjala before, but I guess I should have thought they would delve into a slightly sweeter minded kind of stout, because they've produced quite a few stouts and porters in the past, so I shouldn't see why not. But I'm sort of a bit interested, but I'm also a bit wary, because stouts that I've had in the past that have been based around either pastries or pies or sweet stuff like that are a real mixed bag. You can find some amazing ones like the Peanut Butter Brewery Stout from Tailgate Brewery that had that really nice cocoa-y finish. But then I've tried, the Kinder Bueno Milkshake Stout from Unbarred. That's one of my favourites. But you can get some really stinky ones out there. So I'm hoping this will be good. To be fair, Põhjala have always shown themselves up to be really well on the show. I will say, I really like the design of the label and the bottle. Not really sure what the colour is supposed to be or representative of, but I do just like the colours there. So I'll mark it down a little bit because I'm not sure what I'm actually supposed to be looking at on the label here, but generally speaking it looks really nice, so I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It was £6.50 from Seven Cellars, so while it maybe could be possibly like £1 or 2 cheaper, it's probably that much because, well, it is 12.5%, so you'd kind of expect it to have a bit of woof to it, both in the drink and also the price. But let's have a quick sniff just to see what our first impressions are like. Very smooth, very creamy. Slight bitter cocoa-y after smell. A little bit of fruitiness, kind of slight tropical fruitiness at the end there as well. Yeah, kind of just smells like a boozy Banoffee pie, really, and very nice nose, actually. Very smooth, very creamy, doesn't overstay its welcome in the nostrils, really easy to sort of take in, and kind of like what you're getting into. Yeah, really nice nose. I'll give that a solid 10 out of 10. That's a lovely nose for a beer. But anyway, we'll have ourselves a quick palate cleanser of water before we delve into this. And Seven Cellars, on their website, by the way, they have this really good feature that I haven't noticed before, where they suggest a couple of, if you search up a drink on their website, they then bring up a couple of suggestions at the bottom of the page of that beer that you may like. And one of the ones they brought up was actually the Bueno Kinder Milkshake Stout from Unbarred. The other one, which I can't remember trying but does look pretty good, is another one by Unbarred, which is their King Conquer Imperial Stout, so which has some very cool artwork on the can of that one, so definitely give those two a shot. But yeah, anyways, as always, I hope everyone has a good weekend, or has had a good weekend, and I hope you all have a good week ahead. And well, except for the person who that ambulance is for, but hopefully they get better soon. But anyway, bottoms up. Whew, that is strong. Wow. It's very easily digestible though, that's the thing. This does carry a hell of a whack to it, but the texture is really smooth and creamy. It's kind of like the texture, actually. It's kind of like a cross between like a British milk stout and a Belgian Trappist beer. It's got that kind of richness at the end, but also like a certain smooth creaminess to it that sort of kind of contrasts against that quite nicely. There is a definite flavour of like banana-iness in there, but thankfully it's not too overpowering, because banana can be quite a strong flavour, but it's like very well balanced here. So there's a sort of slightly caramelly undertone, sort of slight tropical banana through line with a sort of slight hazy wheatiness, not hazy, sort of more creamy actually wheatiness throughout the middle, which is the main through line of the flavour, undercut by that caramelliness, and then they all kind of combine together at the end with like a bit more of like a different aspect of tropical flavour that I can't really put my finger on, but it's all tied together at the end as well by a little bit of like a bitter fresh cocoa like sort of aftertaste. So yeah, I kind of get the impression that I'm sort of drinking something that combines the different flavours of a banoffee pie. The only thing that's like really missing is something like a bit more sort of like earthy, like biscuity flavour to sort of kind of undercut everything, sort of just balance it out a little bit. Generally speaking though, the flavour is really good. None of the flavours over contrast, none of them sort of like overpower each other, but the main strength of this drink is the texture. Even though you can tell this is a very, very strong beer, it's really easy to go down because it's got such a smooth texture. It obviously it's 12.5%, but it feels like I'm drinking something that's, you know, maybe like 5 or 5.5%. Something with a bit of oomph, but not a lot of sort of like harshness to it. So I really appreciate that. It's strong, but it's very smooth. And I feel like that sort of like creamy, smooth texture really complements the flavour of like a banoffee pie, with sort of like the different contrasts of like sweet, sort of bitter, and sort of like tropical that you get with a banoffee pie. But yeah, no, this is brilliant. It combines all the best aspects of something like a traditional imperial stout, along with something a bit more out there, like, you know, a banoffee pie flavoured stout. And yeah, I really enjoy this. This is one of my favourite sort of like imperial stouts that I've had ever, really. This is lovely stuff. Again, Põhjala just seem to smash it out of the park every time I try something from them. I think the lowest drink I ever reviewed from them, or ever just drank in my own time without reviewing from them, I think I still gave it like a 7 out of 10. So like generally speaking, they are pretty consistent in terms of how good their stuff is. But yeah, really, really nice stuff. I love this a lot. It does say here to serve it between 12 to 16 degrees Celsius, which, considering I had this in the fridge, probably isn't quite right, but don't tell them I said that. Yeah, I think the texture on its own is like a 10. The texture is absolutely beautiful. The flavour is just missing that little extra aspect, like I said, of slight sort of earthy, sort of oaty sweetness to kind of undercut everything that you would see, because obviously when you make a banoffee pie, it has sometimes kind of like a biscuity base, doesn't it? But generally speaking, the flavour is still very well balanced. It's just missing that slight extra bit of pizzazz, but generally it tastes really, really good, combined with an amazing texture. So I'm gladly going to give this a 9 out of 10. This is really, really good stuff. Again, an absolute zinger from Põhjala. The sort of one thing I would say is I'm docking it like half a point, because, like I said, there's just that extra little pizzazz to the flavour that's kind of missing at the end there. But also, I'm sort of like there's sort of like I can sort of feel like the harshness at the end might put some first-time stout drinkers off. But generally speaking, I think it's well deserving of a 9 out of 10, and this is something that, like, maybe after you've had a few craft stouts and you want to get into some more interesting stuff, then this is probably the one you want to pick. As for people like myself who've drank a lot of sort of craft beers and craft stouts in the past, definitely give this a shot. This is really, really nice stuff, and whew, absolutely well worth the price, I think. So yeah, give it a good look. Anyway, if you guys like this video, leave a like, share and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for future episodes of Ted's Booze Cellar, or you agreed or disagreed with anything in particular in this video, leave your ideas and comments in the comment section down below. And if you want to check out anything else I do online, I'll leave the links to all that in the video description down below. But until next time, have fun, stay safe with whatever you're doing, don't do anything I wouldn't do, drink responsibly, know your limits, and I'll see you guys at the bar next time on Ted's Booze Cellar.